Good morning, everybody. This is Dee Dee with Power Through Trading. I'm not here just to teach you the strat, but to teach you how to profit from the market using the strat techniques. If you have any more questions regarding the strat, please reach out to my guy, Rob Smith at Smith's in the Black channel, Rob in the Black on Twitter, or at sepiagroup.com. Okay, so yesterday we had an interesting day, and I'm going to compare and contrast what's been happening with my trades over the last week or so with what may happen today, guys. Every day is like a new day. And so we're just going to start here with the broader market. And what you see here, now we had drawn those lines on the daily. Let's see if we blow this up here. And you can see where we were looking at price action, the way it was moving. We just drew some horizontal lines. This probably, that's on the weekly chart. Let's look at the daily chart. There we go. All right, so you can see kind of where we were looking at price action to take some levels, right? As it was trading back into this range, we had this big 2-down candle here, and then we had an outside bar here. And we said price, and here's another big 2-down candle. So we said price had to take this congested area before it was going to move further. And so what we saw as price, and I removed some lines, but what we saw as price was trading back into this range was price was creating new highs, but CCI was not. And I talked about this before, which is why I was not looking for the long side of these trades. I was trading reversals, right? So a lot of times that was happening either at the open, maybe it gapped down, came back up. I mean, gapped up, came down, and then back up, or it gapped up, gapped down, traded that lower, then traded higher, and then traded back lower again. It's the volatility in this market has just been crazy here lately. All right, so yesterday, very similar. I'm watching CCI, and again, it traded higher above this range, guys, but failed again. All right, so it's creeping up, failing. CCI now is trending downward. So I'm only looking for those reversals intraday. Let's look at the SPY, and then we'll go and look at the shorter time frames. But very similar, guys. I am not looking to trade the upside on this because I'm watching my CCI. So I'm looking to trade to the short side. And that has gone very, very nicely for us in the last week. Again, looking for price action to take this inside bar here. Then it had to take this broadening range, and as you can see, hit this almost to a T, trade it lower again. So it's having a tough time getting outside this range here. Okay, IWM has traded much better. The small caps have traded much better than the Qs. But again, we created this broadening formation here. All right. So again, price has to take out this range, and this range. And so if I drew a horizontal line here, and you can see it almost tagged that line, a little parallel, but almost tagged that line to a point, but it traded up, right? So took that guy out, but then again, retreated. And so CCI, however, on IWM was trending upward, right? Did not create new highs, but it certainly was trending upward. And so this is a gap or continuation, but then it came down with the broader market as well. All right, so let's take a look at that broader market. I mean, the broader market on a shorter time frame, okay? So here is, and we'll start with the Qs. All right, and this is what, we've been teaching here now for the past few weeks. Hope it's starting to resonate. Reversals off the average daily range, all right, because we're not drawing our broadening formations now. We're trying to simplify our model. We're looking for reversals off the ADR when we have some exhaustion, and that's what we're seeing here. Right, so if you look at our daily, we're seeing some exhaustion here. So I am looking to trade reversals off the high ADR. Here was another example of that. Here's your 90-minute flip. And, let's put up the 45 here so we can see that. And you can see what that looks like on our 45, because we've been talking about trading reversals. So, which means the 6-minute isn't as important because we're not trading the open, right? So we use that 6-minute time frame when we're trading that first 60 minutes. But if we're trading reversals and we're looking for reversals at the top or bottom of our ADR, here's our setup, right? 18, 45, 90. So we're looking for the 2 2s. Remember, we like to trade, we'll go short off of an inside bar at the top of a range, long off of inside bar at the bottom of a range, with our 90 and our 45 and our 90 as our enforced candles. And so here's what we have right here. We end the 45-minute flip, 10:15, it's trading down. You have your inside bar here. This is at 10:24. So you're red here, but keep in mind, guys, you're still inside this 90. You're still inside, the 90 is still forming, shall I say. All right, this is still your first 90-minute candle. But then you have your flip right here. You have an inside 45. You've gone 2 down, 2 down, 2 down. This is continuation pattern on the 18-minute. You look at your shorter time frame. You have at 11 o'clock, you have a 2 up, an inside bar, 2 down. That will help you with your entry. You go red on the day. I'm sorry, not red on the day, but you come back into the previous range. Remember, the green line is the previous day's high. Orange line, previous day's low. So you're back inside this previous day. We're shorting this. Now, SPY, very similar, okay? Let's put this back on our 45. What does this look like? And then I'll show you on my daily view. All right, what does that look like inside 45? But I'm telling you guys, the reason this is working, all right, because today is going to look a little different. Today will look a little different. The reason this is working is because of this exhaustion on this daily time frame. We're trading reversals because the market is having a tough time breaking out of these ranges, right? Making new highs. CCI is not necessarily. This is why this is working, and it's been a beautiful trade. Let's flip over here to my 45-minute watch list. And you can see exactly what I mean. And I'm going to talk about the 2 trades that I took yesterday on NVDA and Tesla. Okay, but you can see why this is working. Trades up to the average daily range. We're at exhaustion, guys. Comes back down, trades up to its ADR. It actually crosses above its ADR, creates another outside bar, and then trades lower. Microsoft doesn't quite hit its ADR. Here's yesterday's high. It goes 2 up, comes back in. Now, and so what you're seeing now is a 2 up candle on the daily and down. Okay, so we're going to look at that. And same thing with coin, Tesla, and NVIDIA. Okay, and so when we're looking at the when you're setting up your day and you're waiting for price action to give you an idea of what's happening next, remember, again, if prices stall, and we'll look at IWM, if price is trading above your ADR and trending up, there's a potential for this to continue. We don't know. But when you're looking at the broader market and you're seeing, oh gosh, everybody's coming back in except IWM, maybe you don't take that trade. So let's look at that. So here was IWM on, and I'm going to flip this over here because this is our 18-minute flip right here, guys. 18-minute flip. So if you see price action is trading above its ADR, this is your 18-minute flip. maybe there's an opportunity, but look, this is two up, two up, two up, two up, two up, two up. What I like to see if price is going to trade above or below its ADR is it gives me an actionable signal on this shorter time frame, and preferably even the 18-minute. And so you see it come down here and then back up. And here's your 18-minute flip. Maybe there's a potential for that to go higher. And maybe there isn't. And this is why we're monitoring CCI. It's back below 100 here on the shorter time frame. Maybe it's exhausting. Let's look back at your 45, because now you're in this 45-minute flip. This is an inside 45. CCI looks like it wants to trade lower. And so you have to be aware of your times, which is why we like to use multiple time frame analysis, okay? So you have to be aware of what's happening at various times throughout the day. All right, so let's talk about NVDA. All right, so NVIDIA, we had this trade on, and it got triangled out. So let's start with the broader time frame, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to move this to the 6. All right, so NVIDIA was a gap down, right? It was a gap down with the potential for price to go higher. It crossed above the low ADR, guys. The high ADR. So this is the high ADR, this is the low ADR. So it gaps down, crosses back above your high ADR, which is where I like to go long. But again, I need CCI to confirm. It did not. So I'm not going to take this trade here, right? So I'm going to flip this over to our 6. Right? I'm not going to take this trade here because this is just a bunch of junk. You're going to get smoked. Here's your 18-minute flip, even if, because this is a 2 down, 2 up signal. Yes. Based on strat rules. Confirmation? No. Based on CCI rules. No confirmation here, guys. No confirmation. It crosses over -100 here and goes 2 down. It crosses up and goes 2 down, 2 down, 2 down. This is back to the downside. Again, I am looking for shorts because we don't like the way this market is trending to the upside, because we haven't really seen a nice pullback. And so NVIDIA came out with some negative guidance. They got it down for the quarter, maybe even the year. And so as a result, they're going to get the chips started to fade here. And so looks like it wants to trade down lower again. Word on the street, this is probably going to go lower. Not sure how low, but they traded, had some negative guidance. And so the market sold off. All right. And so I got into this position here as it crossed back through. So I'm going to flip over here to our 45. Oh, it is on a 45. So after our 45-minute flip, because here was the first 45. And as you can see here, CCI was clearly negative because it was a gap down, guys. So again, on my gap downs, I want to see a 2 up, 2 down continuation to the downside. All right. So it went 2 up. 2 down, 2 up on the 18, 2 back down, which is where I took my entry. No, I'm kidding. I took my entry after the 45-minute flip. So I didn't take it till here. So I got in here. It wasn't the best entry when price crossed back below ADR. This is where I entered. Right in here when price traded back below its average daily range. So I didn't take this 2 up, 2 down here because you have this big candle here. It's got to fight against, right? This is your first 45. So it's after the 45-minute flip. Remember, 90 is still forming, guys. 90 is still forming. So I took the trade here when it crossed back below its average daily range. That's where I'm looking to short when price goes back inside or below its average daily range, or just the opposite if it had traded down and then back up above the low average daily range. So it traded down below the high average daily range. I got in here. It triangled out immediately. I held, still closed lower, 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 and then it started trading back up here. And you can't see this here, but this was green and it started trading back up, and I didn't like that. So I exited for a small profit. My plan was to get back in if I off this, because this is a 90 flip right here. My plan was to get back in. So it's trading inside 90. This is your 90 flip, 11 o'clock. So it's trading inside 90. You have a 2 down, 1, and then it goes 2 back down right here. And I missed the re-entry on that. I missed the re-entry. So small profit on this move down. It came back up. I missed my re-entry because I was tackling Tesla. All right, so let's talk about Tesla. Very similar, right? I'm looking for price. And hang on, guys. These are actually some old lines because I drew this on a different chart. So let's just delete those. All right, so very similar. Tesla gapped up from the previous close, but guys, it's still inside day. All right, so let's flip over to the daily so we can see that. All right, so it's inside day when it opens, right? It opens here. It trades up, right? So it trades up. You can see our green line barely takes the previous day high, right? So this is our green line, barely takes the previous day high. But I'm not looking to trade Tesla to the upside. Actually, Tesla wasn't even on my list initially. And then I saw what the broader market was doing. Here's your 45. I'm looking now to take Tesla short as it starts to trade back down. Now, if you look at Tesla on a longer time frame, you can see what's happening. And here's why I was looking at Tesla to the short side and not the long side. All right, again, like we've been talking about, CCI is trending down. So this was what, Friday, when we had that gap down on Tesla and it traded lower, and I talked about it a little bit. I missed that trade. So this is now, yesterday was day 2 of this 2-day range, right? And we talked about today being the 2 and 3-day flip, right? So August 9th being the 2 and 3-day flip. So I was not looking to trade Tesla to the upside because this is what I was looking at on the 2 and 3-day. I'm looking to short Tesla. So it was not on my list to go long. And so when you guys are planning your day, it's easy to get caught up, right, in these moves because you're thinking price is going to go higher. Because Didi said, above 100 on the 18, we're looking to go long. You still got to see the bigger picture. So what we've been talking about all week here, the last week, is you got to zoom out, and then we're going to zoom back in, and then we're going to come up with our plan. And so when the market doesn't go as planned, you definitely have to pivot, but it needs to make sense, right? It needs to make sense. And so when you're over here watching everybody else turn in, right, on this 45 flip, and Tesla is the only thing that's going higher, you have to think to yourself, is this going to continue? Is there enough momentum in this stop for price action to trade higher? It's above its ADR, but you look at your Qs and your SPY and you're thinking, I don't know, guys, I don't know. So I'm not looking to trade that longer. And those are the conversations I have with myself every day, every day. All right. And so I just waited. And so here was my entry. My first entry was here as price traded back above below. It's average daily range. I got in right about here. So this was at the 11 o'clock flip. 11 o'clock flip. Okay. But it didn't trade very nice. So it traded down, came back up, came back down, traded back up. And I was, let's just get out of this trade. I don't like it. So I got out early as it price traded down and came back up. I re-entered here. So, excuse me, off this inside bar. I re-entered here, price traded up. So it didn't play nice off of this inside bar. All right, so this was my first, and then I came back up. All right, so get in down here, trades back. So that's why I had such a tiny profit. But keep in mind, guys, in your small account, if you're going to trade Tesla and it was still quite expensive, let me say that I did have to go out of the money in that small account to do this, okay? Because the options are very expensive. You can get, depending on your account size, you may get one trade on Tesla, right? So I went way out of the money to do this, and I was able to get 3 trades in. So tiny profit here because it didn't trade very well. It came back up on that first 18 minutes, and you could see CCI hadn't really crossed down. So I'm always asking myself, why didn't this work? Why didn't this work? CCI had traded back inside here, so I had to exit. It was barely crossing here, guys, and 45 was still forming. You had this 2 up, and then it went inside. And let me just show you, because I had to go study this, and I do this all the time, and you should too. Why doesn't my trade work when other trades do? Why didn't this work as well? Here's what I saw, and I want you guys to really take note of this. Tesla traded 2 up on the 45. Coin traded 2 up inside. Microsoft 2 up inside. IWM 2 up inside. SPY 2 up inside. Qs 2 up inside. SMH and NVDA went 2 down, right? Because the chips were trading to the downside, and it actually traded lower here, which is why I was like, I should have stayed with NVIDIA. But anyway, so here is the difference, and here's what I want you to understand. Because it went 2 up, price on that, if you look at that 90-minute, so this was your 90-minute flip, on the other, I'll just flip this over. On the other stocks here, look at your first 90. See how you have look like long whips, some dojis going on here, dojis, right? So that meant that was a better and clearer indication that price was momentum had shifted, and we had a better opportunity for price to go 2 up, 2 down on the 90 versus Tesla that went 2 up and inside. Why? Because it was strong in that first 90 minutes versus the others. So I hope, and you can see how NVIDIA traded, SMH traded, because it actually traded up and down, creating a little shooter. And you can see we have more of a shooter on the other time frames. Tesla is pretty solid. So it went 2 up on that 45, where the others went 2 up and then inside. So once price traded inside, then we had our move to the downside. And so that didn't happen until 11:45 on Tesla. So let me go back and say this again. So when I was trying to trade this on Tesla, looking to trade this off of this inside bar, this 45 was still forming. I got triangled out. Once price trade closed, and then that next 90-minute flip happened, then I got my move. Another inside here, we got our move here, 11:45. So here. It triangled out again, held it. Why? Because I'm monitoring CCI. It's trending down. I'm still inside 90, so higher risk, but I held this. Trade it back below. So you can see here's our ADR, created this little doji, trade it back below. Hit a point here. And I actually had drawn this on my other chart because this was a two up, two up, two up, right? Now we're coming back inside this range. I just drew this horizontal line at the high of this opening 6-minute candle, guys. Once price traded and hit this and came back up, so here's our 18-minute flip, right? Right here, this inside. When price traded back up, went 2 up, I had to exit this position because now I don't know what's getting ready to happen. It hit on my target here because it's got to take the 6-minute candle, hit a target and started to reverse on this 18-minute flip. Remember, still above zero here, still above zero on the 18-minute. Here, contrast that to the 90-minute. The 90-minute says, let's go lower. The 18-minute says, not yet. Okay. We have our next 90-minute flip right here. And this is where I got my biggest move on the day. So I missed this 2-up candle here. This was actually a nice shooter crossing back below where I had drawn my 6-minute candle, 6-minute trend line. This was an entry, guys. I didn't see it, right? So wasn't prepared for that. I think I was on a call, and then the next 90-minute flip happened here. I had this inside bar. This is the open for the day. I took the low of this inside bar here, shorted, it traded up, came down, traded up before it finally traded back to the low side, and we were able to get a nice profit here. I really wanted to hold this overnight. I just don't trust the market. And so when price went inside here and came back up, I exited. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful, but please understand, the reason these 45s have worked so well is because we're trading reversals off an exhausting uptrend, right? That's what we're doing. We're trading reversals off an exhaustive uptrend. Today may look different. Today may look different. And so we have to prepare ourselves for that. It's not going to be the same every day. Now, what happens today? Let's go look at QQQs. Let's see if we have, I don't think we have any news today, guys. CPI number comes out tomorrow. So we'll have to wait. There's not much going on here. Not much going on in the economic news. See if we got any gappers. NVDA, Moderna coin. Because AMD, I don't trade Wayfair so much, doesn't move much. So because price action looks like it's going to go lower, so let's look at these guys. Coin, right? New 3-day, 2 and 3 day flip. Don't want to be stuck inside this range. So coin looks like it wants to go 2 down here, but you're inside this 3-day, maybe even inside this, inside 2-day, right? So that's these 2 bars here. So we don't want to be stuck inside this range. Remember, this is a gapper, so that's why this looks so long. All right, so Moderna, kind of like you got the shooter on the 3-day. We're still going to be inside weight, can't help that, because this was a gapper as well. This was a gapper as well, so we got to be careful. Don't know if I like that. NVIDIA, this will turn the week red. This I may like. I'm not a fan of these outside bars here, but that's a 3-day outside bar, okay? So now we'll look at the daily and the 2-day, and maybe we take this low here. We'll see what happens. So we'll chart NVIDIA. applied materials. Again, inside week here, 2 up. So again, because these are 2 up candles, guys, I am definitely looking for the short side, but this may look a little different, right? Because it may trade lower and stay low, meaning it's not gapping up and trading 2 down, it's gapping down, and we need it to stay down, right? Because this is a 2 down candle. If it doesn't, it has a potential to go outside, but what I'm looking for is for price to stay below yesterday's range. So if it gaps down, remember, I still want my two up, 2 back down continuation. So let's see, and AMD. So it looks like all the chips, right? So NVIDIA, Applied Materials, AMD are all in the SMH. So NVIDIA looks to be the best of the 3 because they're not inside the prior week. And they actually had the poor guidance. All right, so let's chart. So let's see what that's going to look like, guys, on NVIDIA, and then we'll wrap up. Okay, so let's remove any drawings here. So here's the thing, guys. We have a 2 down candle here, so we know price has to trade below the low of this 2 down candle here, right? It has to trade below this low and stay down. So we won't have to draw broad informations because when the market opens, this orange line is going to form here. All right, here, this orange line, it will form at the low of yesterday's low and then the high of yesterday's high. We're going to use our average daily range. If price trades down to the low ADR and comes back up, guys, we're going to do absolutely nothing. If price does not trade down to its low ADR, there may be, so this is for those who want to trade the open, I still need my signal. I may look at this on a 6-minute time frame, looking for it to trade to the short side. So this is a different strategy than for our 45, right? So what I'm looking at, what I'd be looking for at the open, this trades lower, is price to go 2 down, maybe inside. I prefer a 2 down, 2 up, 2 back down on the 6-minute. That's what I prefer. Open 2 down, close, trades up, goes 2 up, and then 2 back down. If it hasn't touched the low ADR. If price trade opens up and is hitting the low ADR, I'm not doing anything with that trade until I get a TTO on that 18-minute. Maybe even the 6, because we'll have to see if price just trades lower the rest of the day, right? Because that could happen. What we've been doing the last week or so is letting the market open and trading reversals off of the 90-minute, the 45 and the 90 after the 45 or 90-minute close. But this is going to be a different trade today. I'm pretty certain, right? We may get a reversal to the upside, but that will only work for me. Again, my criteria still has to be met, is price trades back above the high ADR. So this will trade down. If it comes back up, it has to trade above the high ADR for a continuation to the upside. CCI, I prefer to be above 0, back in my buy zone. It doesn't have to be above 100, right? Because again, this is going to be a gap down reversal. But for a continuation, if I'm going to get any comfort that price is going to continue to reverse to the upside, then CCI needs to cross 0, get back in the buy zone. If it stays below 0, I'm looking for price to continue to the downside. All right, so we're going to wrap it there. I talk a lot, guys, in a short period of time, and it's a lot, right? It's a lot, but you just got to find your niche. All right. But what we do know is that Proverbs 21:5 tells us that the plans of the diligent lead surely to advantage, and those who are hasty lead surely to poverty. And if you're trying to trade this market and you do not have vision, and you're willy-nilly out here trading every inside bar that you see, you're probably losing money. All right, you got to come up with a consistent plan and zoom out so you can see what the market is really telling you. Don't get too caught up on price action when the market isn't indicating that, you know, this thing is going higher right now, right? That's how I use CCI. It's a what's happening right now, because right now is what's important, not yesterday, not 5 minutes from now, but right now. And right now, CCI is saying, no, this is not a good trade to the upside. Right now, CCI on this chart says, no, this is not a good trade to the outside. Right now, CCI says, yeah, maybe there's still an opportunity here to the downside. Right now, CCI says, yeah, there's probably an opportunity here to the downside because it's meeting our criteria. It's come back inside the previous range, back below ADR. Everything on CCI says right now it's still a short, and you don't see that flip until you see CCI coming back, going 2 up on that 90. Until that 90 flips, like here, 90 flip down, until you see that flip back up, meaning it changes colors again, goes inside here, then goes 2 up, that's your reversal. So we reverse off the 90. We reverse off the 90. I will take an entry at that last 18 minutes of that 90-minute flip though, right? With my 45 in force. All right. I'm going to wrap it there, guys. I appreciate you joining me today. And thank you so much. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Take good care.